So, it's the start of Camper Trailer Build Part 4. I'm taking a few hard-earned pineapples down to the motor trimmers to pick up some foam. I thought I'd take a moment to look at the temperature gauges. I've only just fired my engine up and it's 42.6 degrees out here. The other temperature gauges that have been in the sun, the gauges themselves are now so hot the screens have gone entirely black. I think you can probably only just see some of it there. So yeah, it's an Aussie hot day. So let's get driving and get some airflow through this cab. Well, I've got two mattresses in 4-inch high density foam at 400 by 1800. It looks like it's going to be quite comfy stuff actually. The missus will be happy. And I even got them 20 bucks cheaper because I paid in cash. So I was attempting to see if it would fit, and I took a run up like it should when you're trying to make things fit. At least that's what I was told, but I'm also aware that that might have been bad advice. Anyway, these are like exactly the right size. They're not going to slide off. In fact, I could probably stand to cut the corner out of them a little bit, but either way, I just tested with the my senior financial manager, aka my wife, and she informs me that I'd be dead by spoon blow if I took a photo, and she has a 2-foot long wooden spoon, so we didn't get any photos of that. But this is going to be quite suitable, I think, and quite soft. It's high density stuff. It's good 4 inches. I've got a couple of or doona covers, quilt covers you call them, single quilt covers, that I think will probably just fit over these nicely, so that will be good. Well, as a sign of the financial times, our local dimmy store was closing down, so I got a couple of quilt covers at half price, like $5 a pop. So I'm going to see if these fit over those mattresses. If not, I'm going to modify them until they do. But I think they're probably going to be quite fine. Alright, well, good at making beds I am not, but I've got them in, and I've just wrapped them around. I haven't modified anything yet. I've just wrapped them around and pinned them. That could even be the way we do it, but I'll just have to find a method that gets these on a little bit straighter. I do need to take a notch out of the corner of one of these because it wants to pop away from the edge, because I forgot to compensate for like the 30mm or 35mm thickness in the corner. Now it's currently 40 degrees outside. I am kind of sweating in here, but it's still cooler in here than it is out in the sun, which I think is a fairly good achievement. I do need to work in some airflow into this place somehow. Like, I've got the venting under here, and I can certainly put fridge magnets along to hold that mesh on, but I do need a way to help encourage the air through. So I'm thinking maybe some 12-volt fans might work. I have to figure out how I can fit them in. I'll come up with some sort of way to get some artificial air movement in here, but for the most part it's working relatively well, and it's instantly more comfortable with these in here. Alright, so the mattresses have been in here for a little while and airing out. And strangely enough, I can't find my apprentice, but I can hear funny sounds out here. I think I know where she might be. Let's open this door. Hello, apprentice. We've made ourselves at home in our own personal bedroom. I think I'll leave her here for a bit. Close the door so the mozzies don't get in. It seems to be working relatively well. So yeah. Alright, we'll try again in the morning. Alright, so we're up to part 4 of my camper trailer build. Didn't think it was going to take this long. This is a number 5 military trailer, if you haven't seen my other videos, and it's fitted with a pintle hitch, as is my ex-Army Land Rover, which this is intended to be towed by. This is a folding camper with 2 hard sides and 2 soft sides. So the rear will fold in and the front folds down on a winch. The canvas off the top of the trailer sits on top of the camper. Give you a quick look at where we're at the moment and explain what we're going to do. So we have curtains inside and a green painted feature wall that I need to probably finish painting the rest of, but for now it works. There's a folding shelf for a CPAP machine or a laptop or whatever we want, namely because these trailers are waterproof and CO2 can well up in the bottom. We don't want that being sucked up by a CPAP machine. It should be above head height. Alright, we have fly screen and vents along the back, which are also covered by a tarp skirt, which I've cut with a hot knife so they don't fray. I've stapled and then sealed with industrial outdoor rated duct tape, or gaffer tape actually, cloth tape, to seal everything up. Mostly everything's done with Robinson screws. To date I've finished sealing everything up with some foam tape. We have a very sturdy handrail for getting in and out, and we have a gorilla ladder over by the pile of junk and dead hoses. Note to self, don't buy Nilex hoses anymore, they're crap. Everything else is pretty right to go. So the check I'm doing today is to check primarily, will the window leak? And those 2 bits of retaining tape there, I've just realized I need to take a screwdriver to and tighten those nuts up. Now the window is on the outside, so with the hope that if water does leak through it, it will wick around the edge and leak back out the bottom. I don't know if that'll work. I didn't put any sealant under it, so I'm going to do a water test very soon. I also want to make sure that water runs off the roof properly, and then when it gets to the bottom here, that it flows out instead of into the waterproof trailer, filling everything up. However, in the worst case scenario, if that should happen, there is boat bungs installed, factory installed. So I'm going to put those 2 screws, I'm going to tighten them up, then we're going to get the hose, plug it in over here, or over there rather, and give this a wet test and see what happens. Right, so I've enlisted the help of my apprentice to help tell me if there's any leaks in here. Yay! So throw that out of the way, let my apprentice in. I'd better hold the ladder. I haven't invented a latch here to hold the ladder to the camper. You can do it, apprentice, you've been well practiced at this. Yep, grab the handrail. Very good. Taking a bit of practice, but she's learning to do this safely. Okay, we're in there. So now I'm going to get the hose and I'm going to wet everything down. So apprentice, do you want to open the curtains and have a look and tell me if the window leaks? There we go. Yep, she'll figure the curtains out. There we go. Right, time to get the hose. Time to test the window. My apprentice is inside, waiting to see if water's going to run down the inside. Is there any water in there, apprentice? Is there water on the inside? Ah, it is. I can see it running in the inside. Alright, we'll have to seal that up. Anyway, I want to test everything else. Give this a good soak down and see what happens. Hey? Alright, we'll be back in a minute. Alright, so my water in, water out method didn't quite work right with the window, and I was a bit stingy and forgot to buy silicone, so I think it's going to be duct tape to the rescue, but that'll do. That'll be alright. Makes it easy to replace. I've also trimmed some of the foam here to fit around this corner, so we should be good. It doesn't bulge out anymore. So we're doing well. My apprentice here has just wasted $30 worth of foam tape, stuck it on everything, but you know that happens. We've had to peel a bunch off the wall as well. Anyway, we're going to keep going, and we might install some lights very shortly as well. Alright, so the picture's probably pretty poor at the moment. It's night time, as you probably guessed, and my local huntsman at the above that door, or at the top of that door is what I was planning on saying. He's having a good feed on bugs right at the moment. He's doing his job. Now, we've got a few things in here, like some lights and luminous stuff as well. We're going to put some lighting in. It got too hot out here to do much else, but I did put duct tape around the window, and I think I've worked out the top of the door that you can't see here. I think I've worked out a solution to stop the water coming in. But right now, I need lights in here. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to get some of these little puck lights here. We're going to stick a couple of them on, and we're going to find a good spot for the remote control. And we might even find a spot for this little a magnet to hold this table up, this folding table here. Anyway, let's get some lights on and improve the picture a little bit. Alright, so it's actually very dark in here with the window closed, but let's turn some lights on. We'll get a nice little light here, we'll bring up the intensity. Now, I've stuck 2 lights in here, which you can probably see. These are dimmable lights, they're little chip on board LEDs I picked up from my local cheap shop. Now we have a remote, we can turn on the main lights, which means we can turn these off. These are personal dimmable ones for individual reading or whatnot. We have one underneath here to illuminate the foot area and my weird toes as people put them. We have one puck light up here, and I realise now I really need to paint this surface as well. I might get round to that before Christmas, we'll find out. And we have another one up here. So I'll close my curtains soon. But the lighting seems to be working well. I need to find a suitable place for the remote control to hide, but that might potentially go just inside the door. I'm not sure yet. I've got to figure out if there's enough room and where to put it. But I'm thinking inside the boundaries of this is safe because that's going to be folded flat. I just wonder if these puck lights are going to get pushed and they're going to like run when the thing's folded up. But anyway, we'll figure that out. It's only a few double A's in the worst case scenario, so let's get going with a few other things we need to fit in here. Righto, if you can tell from the glaring light, we now have power board, and it's got 4 USB ports for charging devices as well, which will be handy. We're sort of aiming at powered sites for this, although I could fairly easily run a 12-volt system to do the same. At the short term, before we do the initial test on this, we're going to be doing powered sites. Got a bit of waste tape to get rid of here, but so far we're looking pretty good. Now, I had hoped to try and engineer this magnetic latch to this folding drawer or folding table here, but the gap is a little too big, so I've got to do some thinking. I'll come up with something. The problem is, because my walls are single layer, I haven't put any insulation in them. It'll be a bit of a moot point with this flexible stuff here. I'm trying to avoid putting screws through the wall, because especially this wall, they're going to poke through and scratch the crap out of everything on that wall. So we'll figure this out. This is all the parts I didn't plan for, and I'm having to wing it, so I'm just figuring things out as I go. I think though I might put the night latch on the inside of the door, and have a handle somewhere as well for that. Righto, the night latch is in, and because this door opens inwards, this should be sufficient to prevent it from opening. I haven't got a handle on the inside yet, but that's not going to open when that night latch is engaged, so that's good. I just hope that that doesn't mesh with everything else, although I think these are a bit thicker as well, so I think there's room to compensate for those. That should be fine. Alright, let's move on. Okay, so here's another feature. This is a luminous numeral 1 that I found, but I just wanted something glow in the dark for this very reason. In the dark we can find the door handle, so we can reach up to this in the pitch black and I can find to unlatch the door, which if I push a button here, I can find that I've unlatched the latch in the dark. So that hopefully will allow us to see what we're doing in the pitch black if we can't find the light switch. Another thing that I've realized might be a problem is when I fold everything down and then go for a drive on some rough road, this might have a habit of bouncing out. So I might have to find a way to secure that a little bit better, other than just hiding it under the shelf here. I'll come up with something. Maybe a little bit of blue tack in the bottom or something. But either way, it works. Okay, we have a few more bits and bobs. Namely, some magnet stripping or rubberized magnet extracted from fridge door seals. That's going to go down over here. And let's see if I can turn an extra light on to help illuminate that. So we can see as the fly screen hangs down here, this will magnet to the trailer itself and hold the fly screen down to help prevent the mozzies coming in. Well, we're down to the handle conundrum. I've got this little handle. It's a nice wooden handle picked out of quite a collection that I have by the people that are going to be in this. So I stuck some tape across the end here and marked the holes. That's where I'm going to drill. Because of the limitations of folding this up, I can't have a big fat handle sticking out like that, but I can have one sticking out just here. So that's what I'm hoping to do. And the screw kit that comes with this, they're snap-off screws. Well, that's not the right screw kit. These are snap-off screws, so you snap them to length. So I'm going to get drilling and do some boring work, and once I've done that, I'll install some screws. Alright, we have this crazy contraption I call a door now, and it now includes a nice wooden handle that we can grab to open. We're doing well. So all I need to do now is to figure out how to stop the water flowing in the bottom and stop it blowing in the top, but I think a piece of plastic with some duct tape might fix that. The bottom of the door, not entirely sure how. The foam filling in here is doing a good job for that one. And here I had to have full force hose before it came through here, so I think that's pretty good. So yeah, I'm doing all right. Alright, so the camera angle is probably not going to be great, nor is the lighting right now, but we have a magnetic latch. Put the magnetic piece on. I screwed that onto a block of, I think, 90 by 35. Or no, this might even be thinner. But this is thin stuff, and it was just the right width to line up with the magnetic latch. And I stuck that on with my super strong 20 kilogram to the meter double-sided tape. This is some bloody good stuff. Practically sucked itself to the wall, and it's not coming off, not in any kind of a hurry anyway. So that's good. That gives me another block to mount some stuff to. It might look a little ugly, but it works. And I put a little bit of, for the temporary, I put a little bit of duct tape double-sided under that. You still can lift that out, but it's not going to rattle out in a hurry, which is good. I've got both of these on the go at the moment. We'll turn them down. So we're doing pretty well. We're making some headway. This is a lot of the little niggly things I've been meaning to get done before we go away. Now I'm not sure if we're going to fit a CPAP and a laptop on this at the same time, although I've got a mini notebook that'll probably fit, so it can face one side to keep the kid happy. Yeah, otherwise I guess you could sleep the other head end to the door or something like that. I'll work it out. I might need to engineer another shelf in here somehow. I'll do some thinking. Alright, well, it's almost Christmas, so it's Christmas Eve tomorrow, and we're going to test out the camper. I'm going to be sleeping in the back of my Rover, but 12 months of forgetting about everything that I've been throwing in here, I've got to clean this out, and I certainly need to either get new sheets or clean these ones. So yeah, that's today's job, and see how we go with this. Right, well, I've got most of the junk out. It's time to pull this mattress out and see if I can resurrect the sheets or whether I'm just throwing them away. But we'll see what we can do. I've thrown a few things back in, some essential stuff, my extra battery box, all that junk. I've got to get some split tubing out in the next few days and do something about this. And I did something stupid the other day. I squeezed through a gap I couldn't really fit through, and I've put some tear in the canvas just a little bit. I'll figure out how to fix that, but I know what'll happen. I'll have water gushing through that, even though it's a tiny hole. So a few little fix-its I've got to do, but let's get this mattress out. Well, I'll say one thing. At least the mattress kept the floor clean. There's some other junk up there I've got to fish out. It's amazing how dirty things get in 12 months. Right, so my apprentice has come out to help bring some rubbish out, and we're doing pretty well. It's a welcome change because MS is kind of starting to make my feet go wobbly today. The extra help is really appreciated. Ah, thank you. Ah, that's a workshop rag. That can tuck in there. Paper can go. Not sure what all these papers are. Delivery slips and stuff.
off them.
And a couple of stickers. I don't think I'm ever going to use that GME sticker now. It's all good.
But, oh, Papa!
Found some more stuff. We'll get there eventually. So I've got the sheet off the mattress soaking. We'll see how well that works. Alright, so cleaned out. The sheets are washed and soaked 3 times. And I don't think those oil stains are coming out. But for now, I'm going to rough it and just sleep on the oil stains. They're not making anything messy, but I think I'll get a new sheet. It just looks really bad. It looks like something other than oil. But you know, whatever. It's just me sleeping on it. And we can fold the seats down this side so I can put my stuff on the side if I need to and it won't roll in bed with me. It's all good. Next thing I've got to do is get the fan going, get the power supply happening, a whole bunch of other junk. Bit breathless, there's so much going on. I'm going to skip over a lot of stuff. Probably we're going to cut straight to the setup on Christmas Eve. So, yep, I'll do a quick little bit of video once I've got some stuff in here, but that will be tomorrow morning because I'm tired, my toes are numb, and yeah, I pretty much feel like I've only got 2 toes on that foot at the moment. So that's probably a good time to quit. Alright, so camper trailer is all packed up and we're ready to take off. We're only going probably 1.5 kilometers around the corner, but this is a test run for when we use this in March, provided that the bushfires actually let us get over the mountains. Seems like most of Australia is on fire at the moment, but we'll do a screenshot for that later. And my apprentice is in the front seat already yelling at me, "Dad, I can't drive." So either I teach her how to drive and learn with the consequences, or we wait until she's old enough to get a license. But we're all jazzed up today. Aren't you, apprentice?
Yeah. I need to drive.
We want to go. Okay. I guess we'd better get going and go and set this up. Well, we're here on our test location. Travelled alright, didn't bounce out of place, nothing broke. And it took about 8 minutes to put up. I had planned to time lapse the setup, but yeah, the young family members were all excited and wanted to help, so we got in and did that, which also explains why the ropes are not exactly even. The roof's on right, and that's the main thing. And by the look of the weather, we're probably expecting a little bit of rain later today, so we'll see how that all works. It'll be good. Okay, so we're sort of set up, we're on site, and CPAP actually fits on the shelf just nicely, as does Sierra's new, or my apprentice's new little phone. The beds are kind of loosely made. I'm hoping these aren't too narrow. They both tell me that they're fine. Sierra loves it. Yeah, my financial manager, aka wife, seems to be quite okay with a 400mm wide bed. I noticed that there's a bit of a gap. I probably could have got an extra 20mm out of these if I tried. But wherever that measurement's gone awry, I'm not sure. I think probably because they can push right up against the edge of the trailer. We'll see how they go. This is one night only, and we're only 5 minutes from home anyway. So if they want to go back and sleep in their own bed, that's not the end of the world. But this is test run. We'll see how we go. Okay, well, the sun is setting on Christmas Eve in Australia, and most of the countryside is burning. But at least my valuable little apprentice here is quite comfortable and watching YouTube in the camper. So I'm going to call it quits till tomorrow. We'll do more on the camper, and we might even actually video the pack-up, because I missed my opportunity to film the setup. But anyway, we'll be back. Bloody cockatoos. Well, I guess we're going to see if the camper's waterproof. It's Christmas Day and we got rain. Probably the best Christmas present we could get at the moment in this country. And most of it's on fire. I'm hoping the fire grounds get most of this. Well, this concludes my camper trailer build. I'm calling it finished. But I'd like to take a moment to say a special thank you to our firefighters, emergency services and first responders, all of which that are fighting some massive, massive fires at the moment all across the country, but some even close to home for me. And up until multiple sclerosis got the better of me, I was actually a fire tower operator. or also known as a fire spotter. So I feel kind of a personal connection to this. So I just want to say thank you to anybody out there that's a firefighter or emergency service personnel, or even the military. You guys are all helping. The military is involved in the firefighting efforts too. So I just want to say I wouldn't be able to have the peaceful, safe Christmas that I have without you guys. So yeah, keep up the good job, guys. We really do appreciate it. And for anybody who questions this, I'm going to put a picture up right about now over the top of this. And you'll see from this picture here, this is the Sentinel hotspot, or a screenshot from the Sentinel hotspot satellite maps. This shows current active fires in the country, and you notice there's quite a significant number of them. So it's probably borderline on emergency, and our wonderful Prime Minister ScoMo decided to try and take a holiday in the middle of this. So he's copping some flack about that, and duly so, in my opinion. So I'll see you all in the next video. I hope you enjoyed this one, and yeah, let me know what you think.